Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank all the witnesses today for being here, and thank you for your testimony, and thank you particularly to those that were able to make time to come by the office and have those conversations that you really can't cover in a 5-minute time frame. So thank you all very much, and thanks for your service. Master Chief Petty Officer Perryman, I visited an AS Jax this past summer and toured a variety of MilCon needs, including their gymnasium and training center, which includes a water tank. I always pause to call it a pool. But they use this for search and research or search and rescue training. That facility is incredibly old. It's degraded, and I even fear that it's actually hazardous. I mean, there are chunks of concrete falling from the ceiling. The NAS Jax team is doing what they can to sustain operations in that facility, but clearly a new facility is needed to support NAS Jax's mission and our sailors' quality of life, because you talked about, quality of life and how that, and I love the way you do this, talk about quality of life and how that's impacted by quality of work. And so I think that's very important. I agree with you completely. Do you have any updates on the Navy's plan to replace this training facility at NAS Jax?
Congressman, I'm aware that there is a MilCon project that has entered the big funnel every year.
Right.
And what comes out the bottom of that funnel, that project has not risen, much like the Sergeant Major of the Army was talking about. It hasn't risen to the level that it beats out other projects. Ranking member in her opening statement talked about the massive underinvestments we've done in this area throughout my entire time in the Navy. And the backlog is so big, and what we're able to squeeze in under our TOA just makes us make very hard decisions like SMA was talking about. So there is a MilCon project. It just hasn't got above the cut line yet, sir.
Okay, well, going back to the photograph that we showed earlier of Fort Leonard, that looks good to compare to what I see when I go in the basement of this this facility with a pool above it. So I would love to get with your team going forward and figure out exactly where that's at, getting racked and stacked. And I want to know what we can do to help potentially move that up, because I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. And I literally fear for people's safety over that situation.
Yes,
the other question that I have for you, Master Chief Petty Officer, is during our conversation, you mentioned the importance of quality of service for the sailors, and quality of service being both quality of life, like housing, food, healthcare, and all that, and then that quality of work, as you mentioned. Can you speak about the importance of improving both the quality of life? And that's why this project that I just talked about, I think is so important, because it really is a quality of work. Can you talk about how does that investment in military construction help support the efforts toward quality of life and quality of work when it comes to improving, their workplace?
Congressman, much like my companions up here have said, quality of life, that's obvious. Sailors and their families need to not worry about those things when we're asking them to potentially make the ultimate sacrifice. So that's obviously a necessary thing. But the other thing is necessary is, we're the richest country in the world with the strongest military in the world, all right? But when we go on a lot of our bases, the fact that those two statements are true are not obvious, right? Yeah. Sailors need to understand, they need to show up in facilities where they can do their job effectively and not be bogged down by workarounds, worry about pieces falling out of the ceiling, because that also signals to them how much we think about them and how much we value their work.
I really appreciate the way you state that. My time's up, Mr. Chairman. I'll yield back.